guys, welcome back to another video on my channel. I hope everyone's having a fantastic day today. Today we are going to be doing a speed build, and this speed build kind of relates to the recent update that literally just came out, which is the infant update. I am super excited to play with this new life stage. I haven't really watched many videos online that has to do with it because I kind of wanted to give myself a surprise, and I wanted to really just take the entire experience and make it my own. So I haven't seen any gameplay. I'm really hyped to do it, and I figured the best way to do this was to take a mixture of the 7 baby challenge, mixture of the 7 toddler challenge, and just kind of find a good middle ground. And I am going to be doing the 7 infant challenge. Now, because I haven't seen any previous gameplay, I have no idea how this is going to turn out. I'm very hopeful that it will go well, but I also feel like I'm going to get some children taken away because it sounds like it's going to be a little bit hectic. I don't think it will be as hectic as the toddlers, but I really don't know how it's going to turn out. I am just really excited to explore everything and to see new interactions, and I figured the best way to get the most out of this update was just to shove a bunch of infants together, and surely we'll be able to see a lot of interactions between infants and adults. So this is the build I will be using in the challenge. I actually started doing this build before the update came out, so nothing that I have at the start of the speed build has anything to do with the infant life stage. I just built this as if it was a daycare, so there are some objects for toddlers, there's some objects for children, and right by the end of the video you'll kind of see me delete a few objects and rearrange some stuff to use the new infant update objects. Luckily I kind of hovered over most of the objects, and it seems that infants can use a lot of the stuff, which I really do appreciate. So I didn't have to change too much about the build, but I still don't know if I have everything necessary to make sure that these infants live a happy life. Because I just had a quick glance over and I wanted to get the speed build done, so I just did everything I could in the moment to make things work. Like I said, the design for this build is kind of a daycare, so over here by the exterior I'm kind of doing this gravel little pathway that I'm going to turn into a playground, and of course infants probably can't use any of the things on the playground. I will be adding in monkey bars, I will be adding in swings, and I know the chances of infants being able to use that is basically none, but it still just really suited the build, so I'm going to stick with it. And even if you want to get this build but you don't want to just have infants, you can have a range of all different ages, and so if you do have kids you will be able to use these objects. I think even teens or adults might be able to use the swings, so that could also work as well for this build. Even though its primary focus was the infants, I wanted to kind of add a few bits and bobs there so that it caters to all different Sims ages and you can just kind of get the best gameplay possible. One thing I really loved about this build is that you have these wall murals that I believe came with City Living, and I actually got my Sims to paint a bunch of different murals, and I kind of judged which one I liked the more, and I looked for ones that had lots of colors and was just really fun. And I put those murals on the outside, so you can kind of see the one with the elephant, and there's another one kind of on the inside of the building. That just looked really cool. I love the way it looked. Like I said, a lot of colors, very playful, and it kind of just looks like wallpaper. You don't really notice that it's a mural unless you look very close, so I thought that was a really cool idea. I remember when I did this volunteer work a few years ago, we were like painting classrooms and stuff like that, and a group of the people actually painted the exterior, and they did these amazing little patterns on it that looked absolutely incredible, and I guess a part of me always wanted to incorporate that in a build somehow. So during this build I really enjoyed being able to kind of put that little memory that I have into this build, and so that's what I decided to do. I really loved it. You basically just saw the entire outside. It's nothing too special. Sadly, in the screenshots later on, I don't know if I chose winter to play the series in, but all of the trees died and it's just a very miserable day, so the screenshots don't look as good as the actual build, but I can tell you that I think the build looks pretty cool and happy when the plants aren't all dead. Over here we are just going to be working on the interior, and I kind of struggled with trying to figure out what I wanted to do with this space and what would really work. At the moment I am busy doing the kitchen, which is in this main area, and for the table I think it actually looks quite funny because it is literally a normal table surrounded by baby feeding chairs, high chairs, and I think infants can use the high chairs. I think as soon as you load up The Sims 4, there's a photo of an infant in a high chair, so maybe that will work. But having 7 infants running around or crawling around, I don't think I'll be able to utilize the high chairs that often. I'm really nervous. I hope none of the kids get taken away, because that's going to be absolutely awful. But that's what I decided to do for the main area. For the bathroom, I didn't really need to use that much space, because obviously the infants can't really go to the toilet as far as I know. I don't even think they can splash around in it, but they might be able to. I did, however, need to add in a bath. Again, I'm not sure if infants can use the bath. I think it will be pretty cute if you can just use a normal sink to clean up the infants, but just in case, I decided to add in a bath, because like I said, I don't know anything about this life stage or how to properly take care of them, so I'm just going off of what I figured. And I know for toddlers it's important to always have a bath on the lot to help clean them up, because even if you change their diapers, their hygiene doesn't always go up. So that's why I decided to specifically add in a bath. This little area that we are about to work on is kind of going to be the infant's room. One of the very tricky things was working with the space, because I wanted it to be very playful, almost like a classroom vibe as well. So very playful, very colorful, and unfortunately the cribs are huge. The bassinets kind of take up 1 by 2 tiles, but it's very easy to fit them in just by 1 tile if you have it facing the right way. But unfortunately the cribs are 2 by 1 tile, but I think it needs to be against the wall. So later on you're going to see me really struggle for space. I managed to fit all the bassinets into the main sleeping area, but I could not do that for the cribs. So you'll kind of see the cribs scattered across the entire build, just because if I could find a space, I made sure to use that space. Like I said, the one area is going to be the main room where they sleep, where they change, kind of along those vibes, and the other room that you just saw me build is more of a play area. And when I went back into the build and I hovered over the items, a lot of them the infants could interact with. I'm pretty sure the drawing table infants can't react with, because toddlers aren't able to do that, but a lot of the other toys and stuff infants can actually join in, which is really awesome. For the main nursery area, I wanted it again to be fun and playful, but I also wanted it to seem kind of more practical. So I'm actually going to add an ottoman on top of one of the dresses and change the color so it looks like a changing table. I don't know if the infant update came with a changing table. I couldn't find anything, but it did come with like a bunch of objects that can really help decorate it, like baby wipes or diapers and stuff like that. So that was really cool to have around and to kind of play with as well. Like you can see, I did add in a bunch of bassinets, but later we do take it out and replace it with a bunch of cribs. Something that I did think was actually kind of funny was that when I loaded into the lot with the babies, obviously they were still in the baby stage and not the infant stage, so I needed somewhere to put them all. So I just take all of these 7 bassinets and I just kind of like line them up outside, and when I moved the sim in with the babies all like went into the cribs. So at the end you'll see a fun little screenshot of a bunch of babies just like sitting outside in the rain, all in a line, and I just thought that was so funny, so I had to take a photo and add it to the speed build. This is the point where I had updated my game and I had looked through some of the items. They came with quite a few cute little rugs. There's this circular rug, which I really love the patterns for. I think that can be used in a lot of wholesome builds to really make your nursery feel at home, but also like a safe place for your baby. So I really do love that circular rug. I'm going to go through some of the objects that came with the infant update, and I'm going to kind of go slowly but still quickly. If you want to slow it down, you're more than welcome to, but I wanted to kind of show off a couple of the things that came with the update. So I'm really happy with what I've seen so far. I've only checked out build mode, and obviously when I do the actual challenge, then I'll be able to see gameplay and I'll also be in Creator Sim. But yeah, so far with the build objects, I'm pretty happy. I love the way the cribs look, even though they are massive. For a tiny little baby, they still look pretty cute. And you also got some new objects for toddlers as well, if I'm correct, and you got new bassinets as well, which was just very sweet. So yeah, that is basically the build. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please make sure to hit that like button and subscribe so that you're notified every time I post a new video. I'll be releasing videos pretty soon that showcase the different Creator Sim objects as well as gameplay related to the infant update, so stay tuned for that. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye guys!